there, this is Jamie at NextFit Princeton. Today we're going to go over a nice dynamic total body warm-up. So you can do this before you take a class, or if you've got a total body training program before you meet with your trainer, before you go into a session on your own. This is typically what I like to have my clients do prior to a session. Sometimes you come in, your client's just sitting there and they're doing like a stagnant stretch on the turf. Ideally, we don't want to do too much stationary stretching. We want it to be a little bit more fast moving to really get the muscles warmed up and ready to go. So if you train with me, you probably already know this, or if you take any of my classes, you probably do a lot of these things before we get into the weights. So these will be familiar movements. If not, this is something that you can just take before your training session or before your workout and try to adapt it to your basic needs. So usually recommend 2 to 5 minutes on, I like either the bike or the rower because they're kind of total body. You get a little bit of legs, a little bit of upper body as well. So just like a leisurely pace, conversational pace, just to get everything kind of moving. And then we'll get into some more nitty gritty stuff. So I usually recommend having a band, lightweight band on hand, as well as a PVC pipe if you've got them. So generally 2 to 3 rounds of this. We're just gonna start with 10 nice body weight squats. You can take your time, getting nice and low. And then I usually like to alternate between upper body movements. So after I've done 10 to 12 reps, I'll grab either a band or a PVC pipe. If you have really mobile shoulders, you're probably going to want a PVC pipe for this. We're going to go into 10 shoulder dislocates or pass throughs. So nice straight arms. I'm going to keep tension on the band. I'm going to bring it all the way back and all the way forward. So again, 10 to 12 reps of everything, just taking your time here. And then after that, I like to incorporate some hamstring scoops. So a little bit of a dynamic stretch. A lot of the time people want to just hinge over and they're stretching their hamstrings and they're holding that stretch. I'm just going to go to the side so you can see. We're going to bring the front foot forward so that way you're on your heel with your toe facing up. We're going to think of it like an RDL. So hips go back. We're going to scoop the arms, and then I like to add in a nice big arm circle on the way back. Switch legs. And usually somewhere between like 8 to 10 on each of these, just to get the hamstrings moving. So yeah, we're not holding a stagnant stretch. We're adding in that movement while also still stretching out the muscle a little bit, just in case there's any tightness in the hamstrings. So I'm going to grab my band again. So if you had a PVC pipe in the beginning, you're going to want a band for this. We're going to take a slightly closer grip. We're going to go into some pull apart. So straight elbows. We're going to squeeze the back muscles, bring the arms all the way back, and then nice and straight. So I always want to keep tension on my band. A lot of the time I see people do a lot of this. Nonsense, don't do it. We want to squeeze and return back to that starting position. So I'm never letting my band go slack. I'm always keeping tension on it. And then you can also use this if you want to maybe wrap your band around a squat rack or a stationary machine. And you can also add in some either like internal and external rotations if you've got some shoulder PT recovery type exercises that you're doing, or even like a single arm row where if I've got this attached to a squat rack or a stationary machine, I can pull the elbow back and do some extra back warm up. All right, so we're going to add in some quad stretching. So a little bit of the balance focus as well, alternating legs. We're going to balance, we're going to squeeze, hold for a 2 count, and then switch, alternating sides. So you can hold that for as long as you want, but again, we're using this as kind of like our pre-workout warm up. So we don't want to do too much stretching. We don't want to initiate the parasympathetic response. So again, nice dynamic movement, a little bit of the squeeze, but not holding a stagnant stretch. You can do the same thing with glutes and hamstrings. So I'm going to alternate legs. My foot comes across. I'm going to squeeze my knee in and then alternate to the other side. So just kind of getting that balance practice as well before you start your workout. And then thinking about what movements you've got in your workout. So are you doing dumbbell walking lunges today? Throw in a set of like alternating forward lunges or just some body weight lunges. Are you doing reverse lunges? Are you doing trap bar deadlift? You might want to grab a light kettlebell or something along those lines. So look at what you've got planned for your workout. Think about what muscles you use and then run through that again. I'm a big fan of adding in some overhead mobility while we're doing lunges. So a lot of the time I'll have my clients hold a band, take a big step back into a lunge, rotate, and then bring it back up, big step back, rotate, and stand, just because we're kind of incorporating both upper and lower body. And then my all-time favorite, we've got the world's greatest stretch, because it is the world's greatest stretch. So again, we're incorporating both lower body and upper body into this little bit of shoulder mobility. It feels like a stretch, but you're kind of moving through that stretch. So we're going to take a big step forward, plant the knee, hands come to the floor. I'm going to reach my left elbow down, rotate open, and then I'm going to switch to the other side. So same thing, hands to the floor, right elbow down, rotate open, and bring it back up to a standing position. So a lot of the time we don't get a lot of rotational work in, so adding in some thoracic mobility as well into that is sure to get you ready for your workout. So if you have any questions or you need any extra moves, feel free to leave a comment, or you can write into our email on this newsletter and let us know what you want to see. Thank you.